Hey guys, so today we're going to be working on creating some color harmonies and manipulating color. We're going to be using colored pencils for this, so make sure you have them out. And you're probably going to need, a good collection of colors. There's some spots where you get to pick colors, and then there's other spots where you have to use a specific color. Now for this activity, this first one, you're probably going to need your color wheel from activity 1.3. Okay, so this is going to be a point of reference for you for this next activity here. Okay, as always, make sure your name goes on the top. Remember, because when you turn this in, I want to see your name. Write your own name, but I'll just write demo here. This is activity 1.4, and you are watching our current video. So with some color harmonies, basically what a color harmony is an arrangement of colors that look good together. And there are a variety of color harmonies, but we're going to look at just a couple today. We're going to look at analogous color harmonies, tints and shades, which you could also call monochromatic color harmonies, and then also complementary pairs or chromatic neutrals. Okay, so we're going to kind of take a look at these three main parts and just kind of work through. So for this first section, again, we're going to be looking at what are called analogous colors. And basically what that means is these colors sit next to each other on the color wheel. You don't skip over any colors, and it usually includes 3 or 4. Okay, so to do this, you can take your color wheel and sort of imagine it like a pie. Now, I know it's sort of hard to envision with all these circles, but if you were to sort of take like a bracket like that of 3 or 4 colors, you could literally shift that anywhere in the color wheel like that. You could have those 4 colors, right? Or these 4 colors, or even just 3 if you want. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which ones you choose, but you need to make sure you're choosing them in consecutive order. So an example on the sheet says blue, blue violet, violet, and red violet. So for the sake of just demonstrating what's on here, I'm going to go ahead and use those. For you, you can choose your own colors, and you're going to be putting them here in the boxes. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and put my colors in here, okay? And again, you can abbreviate, you can write the whole thing, whatever you want to do. But then you're going to go ahead and be using the corresponding colors. So I've got a few colors here, and you're welcome to use your secondary, like I'm going to use violet in this. That's fine, because we want to get to know all of our colored pencils. For the purpose of the color wheel, we were just using our primary colors. So I'm going to go ahead and shade, and again, we're just going to use the side of our pencil here. But you want to kind of go for a nice bold color. The other thing to note is, and I mentioned this in my last couple demos, is that I'm working on like a folder with like paper in it, and it gives a nice soft look to our work. So I'm going to go ahead and add the blue here. Remember, I'm going to be combining the two. So I'm going to create a nice blue violet here. All right, now depending on what colored pencils you have, you might have a blue violet in there. Some sets, some larger sets come with one, but for our purposes, I want you guys to go ahead and try and mix a blue violet. Okay. So again, being able to mix colors is super important. It just gives you a really nice ability to control and create some more interesting things. This is a this is just regular violet here. And again, depending on what colors you choose, what portion of the color wheel you choose, you can go ahead and color accordingly. Red violet, I'm going to be layering. Remember, we always want to do the lighter color first. So I'm going to go ahead and put red down first. Just kind of give a nice base. And then I'll use my violet to go over that to get a nice red violet. Okay, and I'll go back over this one more time. Remember that when you layer your pencils and you're going back and forth, It's actually a natural part of the process. Don't feel like you're not doing something right if you have to go back with another color. The more you go back and layer, the better you're going to get as far as creating new colors and something that looks nice. Okay. As far as the next section goes, which is tints and shades, we're going to be looking at creating shades and tints of colors. Now, with colored pencil, obviously the situation is dictated by our paper color. For us, we have white paper right now, which is good. Okay. So when we create tints of a color, we're going to be adding white, which means we're just going to be coloring lighter to let more of the paper show through. And then over here, we're going to be adding black. These are sort of divided into two because you want to have the pure color sort of in this central spot where you're blending this way and you're blending this way. The other thing to note is you shouldn't have any black colored pencil on this side. It should just be pure color and lighter. And then over here, we want to push the pure color and work darker. So I'm going to demonstrate one of these, but you're going to try it with two different colors, the same exact situation. I'm going to bring a new color in because, you know, it gets kind of boring to just work with the same colors all the time. So you can see the first thing I'm doing is just kind of coloring over this whole pure color and really trying to build that nice solid color there. Okay, so some students will have a tendency to just color like this. And like, yeah, that's okay, but we've got scribble marks and our color could be so much bolder. So I'm going to go ahead and push that. Remember that with our shades, we're going to be adding black. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this color nice and heavy all the way over. We don't want to put the black down first. We're going to put the black over top. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do in this direction is start coloring a little bit lighter. As I work my way to the total tint of this color, which for me currently is aqua green. Alrighty. So I've got my tints here, but I need to build in my shades. So I'm going to grab my black colored pencil here, and I'm going to go ahead and start pushing this. All right. Now be careful. Black tends to really, really control the color of things. So you want to go easy with it. You can always add more. All right. So you can see I'm really pushing the black on this side. This is the darkest. And you can also see I'm using my overhand position, which, like I said, can be a little uncomfortable at first, but it's really just about getting used to. I'm going to go back in with my color just to kind of push and blend. So with black, you know, if you color over top of it with the same color, it'll just kind of move it around and smooth it out. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. I'm looking for nice solid color. All right, push darker here with your black and then lighter here with just showing color through. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and complete my other one, and then we'll move to the next step. Alrighty, so you can see here I've got both of my tints and shades value scales in here, and this is what you would call monochromatic color, meaning one chroma. Okay, so one color, meaning we've got different values of one color. You could create an entire drawing, which is one color, lights and dark versions, and it would be super cool. Okay, so that's a color harmony. And the last one we're going to talk about is complementary colors and creating chromatic neutrals. These are grouped together because you can do one of two things with complementary colors. Complementary pairs are located directly across from each other on the color wheel. So when you look at your color wheel, it's any colors, any pair that are directly across. So it could even be your tertiary colors, okay? So wherever you want to line it up, all right, those are complementary pairs. And when you use those, you can do one of two things. When they place right next to each other, they make each other look brighter. So think like red and green, Christmas. A lot of sports teams use complementary pairs like blue and orange or purple and violet. So they're pretty popular as far as simple color harmonies. But when you mix them, they can create what are called chromatic neutrals, which is neutralized versions of your color. And they can be sort of a range of colors depending on the ratio of one color versus another. You can use them to create actual neutrals like grays and browns, but you can also use them to sort of make a color less intense. So we're going to experiment with that. All right, some examples would be yellow and violet, red and green, blue and orange, red, violet, and yellow, green. Okay, so we're going to practice mixing similar to what we did here. We're going to kind of start with heavy pressure and work our way. And then we're going to do the same thing with another color and work our way. You're going to see this area of overlap here. So you can see our first color is going to be yellow. So we're going to go ahead and color pretty heavy, right? So just kind of follow the little notes above and below. We're going to do some mid values of yellow. We're going to go lighter and lightest. All right, so I'm staying right in line with my notes up here, okay? And then I'm going to use from the other end, violet, which is the color complement. And I'm going to go ahead and follow using these notes under here. So I'm going to start with my heavy pressure. And I'm going to start working my way this way. All right, what you're going to notice, like I said, is that as you color, and I'm going to stop right where it says lightest here. I'm just going to kind of see how this goes. You're going to notice a couple of things happening here. Now, for those of us who like bright colors, this might not be your jam, but this does have a use. You know, if you have Crayola colors, there's like what, a brown and a gray maybe and a white. So having the ability to create these neutral colors in here is a really, really nice thing, okay? The other thing you're going to notice is that when I lightly color over yellow, look at that nice, it's sort of a gold color, right? And then same over here, if I'm coloring with my yellow on top of my purple, just to kind of reiterate some of this here, you'll notice that I'm getting some nice like midnight violets, okay? So creating what are called chromatic neutrals are these. It's this range in here, okay? We're going to do the same thing down here with orange and blue. So I'm going to take my orange colored pencil and I'm going to color. And again, you can see I'm using this overhand position and I'm just following the notes that are above, just right up here where it says heavy pressure, mid value, lighter, lightest. I'm just following the guide. Alrighty. I'm going to use my blue and I'm going to do the same thing from the other side. So we've got blue down here. Okay. And again, what we're doing is sort of working to create some neutrals, chromatic neutrals. Okay. This also means that you're creating a new color from colors. So you're creating neutral colors. Alrighty. Now again, some of you might not be the hugest fan of these like weird browns and grays that you get, but this will completely transform. Like, whoa, okay, so maybe I have 12 colors in my color pencil pack, but look at how many more colors I can get. Look at these awesome like blue grays and, you know, this sort of a burnt orange color. So experimenting with chromatic neutrals is super important, and it really does give you, like, look at those really neat colors in there, okay? So this is what this sheet should look like. Just to review, you should have analogous colors, which again are next to each other on the color wheel. Your tints and shades should look like this, with the darkest pure color in the middle, lightest color over here by just shading lighter, okay? So when it says add white, remember, we're just using a lighter pressure. And then, of course, we've got our color complements down here where we're just mixing two colors, lighter color first, darker color, okay? So there is our color harmonies sheet.